In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. Dear friends and fellows in Pakistan and abroad, life is challenging and maybe quite challenging in the eyes of many people. The challenges of life, is it only for the poor people, for the lower middle class, or for the middle class people? No. The challenges of life are for everyone else, regardless of their economic or social status. Even if at all somebody is very wealthy and very famous, very wealthy and very influential, very wealthy and very powerful, despite all of these, there will be certain challenges in the life of that particular person against whom she or he will be found struggling, trying to cope. Resources does help and help a lot, but cannot succeed in eradicating these challenges from our life at all. Does it mean that we shouldn't work for the achievement of the resources? Not at all, not at all. Resources are great and very useful. We must not ignore. But does the resources alone will get the things done? Not at all again. What else can help us other than the resources? It is our mental strength. Some of the people are very weak mentally, and other some of the people are strong mentally. A person who is very weak mentally, to him or her, the challenges will be much bigger as compared to a person with the mental strength. Mentally strong person will find it much less difficult. Mentally strong people will find it much less difficult to cope, to meet their challenges. Because the weaker mentally we become, the problems start growing and becoming bigger and bigger. And once we become mentally strong, the problems become smaller, the challenges and the troubles in the life become smaller and weaker and weaker. So it is very important and very important indeed that if at all we are trying to become a mentally strong person, there are plenty of benefits if at all we are a mentally strong person. Now, during this talk of today, we are going to share with you the ways to become a mentally strong person. The ways, the tips to become a mentally strong person are going to be shared in our today's talk. First of all, first of all, it's very important to develop the practice the self-discipline. Self-disciplinary muscles. It helps us a lot. No matter what we are trying to do, no matter what we are trying to do, no matter where we want to reach, no matter what we want to avoid, the biggest help will come from the self discipline. We need to develop it, we need to practice it, we need to create in ourselves, and we need to become a person who is quite a self disciplined one. The more self disciplined we are, the more mentally strong person we are actually. So it is very important and very important indeed to practice the self discipline. Number one. Number two, come out of your shell. What is this come out of your shell actually? It means that coming out of your comfort zone and broadening your horizon. Broadening your horizon. Don't be a person of very limited approaches. And of course, try to come out of your comfort zone, because this comfort zone does not allow us to try the new things, does not allow us to try the new things at all, does not allow us to make more struggle. So it is very important and very important indeed to reform the habits, break the old habits, improve every habit. For that, obviously, we need to struggle and we need to come out of the comfort zone. We need to exert pressure upon ourselves up to an extent, which is a very healthy one. And we need to come out of our shell, or that we do have to conquer the comfort zone. Then another thing is realize your mistakes and find ways to improve. It is very important that we are keeping an eye over our strengths and weaknesses at the same time. We need to consolidate, strengthen our strengths, and we need to weaken and break our mistaken behavior. We need to identify our mistakes, and we should do everything else we can to overcome, to improve, to rectify, to rectification of our mistakes. Then it is the number 4, practice saying no. Practice saying no, it is very important. Practicing it very important. Making it a routine does not mean that we have to refuse each and everyone else. Not at all, not at all, not at all. But it should be something frequently done. Saying no, analyze something else, whatever is there in front of you, asking you either to part ways or to cooperate. Try to analyze. If at all you are very much sure, without jumping to conclusion, if at all you are very sure that this thing is going to help you, is overall beneficial for you, don't refuse and don't say no. Otherwise, in many of the cases, maybe 2/3 of the cases, maybe more than that, we need to practice saying no. That's very important indeed. Practice saying no will make us a strong person, will help us a lot in becoming a strong person, although we can do it politely but firmly and formally. Number 5 is distance yourself from the toxic relationships. Toxic relationships. We need to distance ourselves from the toxic relationships. We do have many of the relationships. Some of these are quite positive of nature, another some of these are not. Now these are toxic. Actually, negativity is spilling out of those people. Their company, our presence with those people, our company with those people is not putting the positive effects upon our psyche. So they people are hurting us. They people are trying to manipulate and exploit us. In that case, it is very important, if a relationship is toxic one or becoming toxic, it is very important to distance ourselves from those people. It is very important to distance ourselves from those people. Then another very important thing is keep your emotions in check. Control your emotions. Controlling of our emotions is very important. Very important indeed. If at all we don't try our emotions can destroy us. Our emotions will destroy the other people as well. So it is extremely important, because some of the emotions are positive, and other some of these are not positive. And those which are positive, even here too, we need to exercise the restraint, partial restraint. It is very important. If at all somebody is feeling angry and she without any restraint start showing this anger to someone else, I think it could be disastrous, it could be fatal, it could be very bad. So it is very important, if at all you like somebody, so in that case too we need to restrain ourselves. We don't need to do everything else whatever they demand from us. So I think it is very important, and very important indeed, that we are found controlling our emotions, because unless and until we don't control our emotion, I think that we are not going to lead a good life at all. So these are the tips actually. These are the tips to make us a mentally strong person. Really important for us to become a mentally strong person, and we will be able to face the challenges of life in a relatively easy manner. Thank you.